1:40 a.m., Tuesday morning. The phone in my room rings loudly and jolts me out of bed. I climb down from the upper bunk and answer the call. "Roger that, sir," I said. I put on my coverall, hard hat, and steel-toed boots and head out. Now you may be wondering where I am. Here she is, our drill ship, right in her element in the North Atlantic, exploring for oil. Over 2 football fields long, she is a factory, offices, accommodations, and a restaurant, all in one. For a large part of 2.5 years, this was home. Our job, drill through 25,000 feet of rock beneath the sea floor. But to even get to the sea floor, you first need to go through 7,000 feet of ocean water. That's 5 times the height of the Empire State Building. Total depth, 6 miles, roughly 2 round trips to the Trader Joe's off campus. Tonight, it's raining. The ship is heaving. I grab hold of the handrail and make my way to the drill floor. But something feels off. I can smell it in the air. I push open the door to the doghouse, the nerve center of the operation. I feel the vibrations through my boots. The pumps are hammering at full pressure, and the pressures are spiking up and down. But the drill pipe isn't moving. 5 miles below us, something is seriously wrong. The well is collapsing, and the pipe is getting stuck. Mother Nature is reminding us who's in charge. "Not today," she says. And when Mother Nature talks, you don't mess around and find out. You respect her and back off. This was the well I had planned. I was concerned. I run the calculations and I watch the crew as they move with practiced calm, clear instructions, and hand gestures through the roar of the machinery. 40 minutes later, it's all over. Pressures stabilize, the vibrations die down, and the drill pipe is free. I step outside into the Atlantic darkness with a cup of coffee in my hands and think to myself, just another day at the office. This is where energy lies, folks, in the rocks beneath us. Now you may be wondering, oh great, another oil and gas guy telling us to drill, baby, drill. While oil is important, I want to focus today's talk on something else that's there within these rocks. The heat. The heat beneath your feet. Friends, we live at the intersection of 2 major inflection points. On the one hand, our planet is craving to be decarbonized. On the other, we humans are building the most energy-hungry technology of all time, artificial intelligence. A single ChatGPT query can consume up to 10 times the energy of a Google search. Data centers are consuming more energy than some countries even, and they are expected to consume about 8% of all US electricity by 2030. So where will all this new energy come from? When we think of clean energy, we think of solar panels and wind turbines. These are great, but the sun sets every day and the wind doesn't blow all the time. So you see the problem here. But there is an energy source that runs 24/7, 365 days a year, and it doesn't care about the weather. In fact, it's been running for 4.5 billion years with no end in sight. I'm talking about geothermal energy, the heat trapped in the underground rock, the heat beneath your feet. Are you ready to learn more about this steaming hot opportunity? Are you ready? Now you may be wondering where these rocks really are. They are about 5 kilometers or 3 miles beneath us. That is pretty darn deep. Where do they get their energy from? The Earth's core is at 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, like the surface of the sun, and it radiates this heat constantly outwards. This heat gets trapped in these rocks that are at temperatures of 150 to 400 degrees Celsius or 300 to 750 degrees Fahrenheit. And this heat is not going anywhere. The beautiful part is we know how to get to the heat. Remember that 25,000-foot well I was talking about? Imagine applying the same technology that we use to target oil and gas for geothermal as well. Same rig, same crews, same equipment, same expertise, just a different target. Now you may be wondering, what good is that heat down there? How do I get it to the surface and make use of it? There are many ways to do this, but one way is to drill 2 wells into the hot rock. You pump cold water down one, it goes through the hot rock, heats up, and comes back up as hot water or steam. Once on surface, the hot water can be used for district heating of schools, hospitals, offices, universities, and so on. Or you can run the steam through a steam turbine and generate carbon-free electricity for the grid. This isn't science fiction, friends. It's already happening. California's primary energy provider, PG&E, has geothermal energy as part of its sustainable energy program. The Department of Energy has estimated that 90 gigawatts of electricity will power the grid from geothermal by 2050. Geothermal is having a moment here. It has historically been plagued by rare geologies and poor economics. And then Fervo Energy, a startup from our very own Stanford graduates, came along that leveraged the latest and greatest from oil and gas to build an enhanced geothermal system. This provided the unlock and has expanded the resource base. The time to capitalize on this opportunity is now. So here is my call to action. As we move into a future filled with home robots, electric cars, flying cars even, we need all hands on deck and all energy sources working together. Oil and gas, geothermal, nuclear, solar, wind, tidal, and so on. This isn't about choosing winners, but recognizing that the energy future is all of the above and that geothermal can play an important role. Friends, for power around the clock, look deep into the rock. Expand your mental model from solar and wind to solar, wind, and rock. At the end of the day, the most powerful energy is the energy inside you. The human ability to dream big, change lives, change organizations, and change the world. Go chase that energy. Be mindful of consumption and tap into the potential of the heat beneath your feet. Rock on. Thank you, everyone.